If you're anything like me, you were probably scrolling through like a million videos once trying to find a strategy that was going to change your life. And there are so many clickbait thumbnails and clickbait strategies out there that will just get you to click on them and like their stuff and subscribe and comment and do all this and that. I am going to ask you for none of that. The only thing that I will ask you, which you don't even have to do, is to watch through the entire video and to genuinely take it in. Because the reason I'm even posting this in the first place is because I started trading and I was forced to watch videos that were so useless. They were about trend lines and things like this or patterns. And at the time, it made sense because that's kind of what I would envision whenever I heard of trading in general. I would just think about, oh, okay, well, this is just where people draw lines and then looking at the charts and this and that. So it made sense. I didn't think anything of it. The reason that I stopped watching them was because I was like, okay, well, I'm not making any money. I'm just losing money. I'm not learning anything from this. Every single time I go and test it out on the trading, it fails. And I was like, okay, well, I just spent a whole like couple of months on this and I just keep consuming content and nothing changes. So why is it that these strategies are failing? And something that's very funny and common is that these people that are making content like that will just repurpose other strategies and you will see that there is no repetition throughout their videos. And I know it's so boring. You have to watch another video and it's 10 minutes long or it's a trade recap. These videos are very boring. I know you want to skip past this or get through it with it and just do something else. You can. By all means, you don't have to watch this. You don't have to stay here. But if you do, I do promise you, I guarantee you, and I'm that confident that you will be able to make trades like this moving forward. And you can even see the trades that I post. They're all live. They're on Twitter. It's fully transparent. Even if I take a loss, I'm going to post it because I don't care. I will gladly show that I took a loss on this day because I'm going to win more trades than I lose trades. And that's not some egotistical thing. It's just because I built a system. I didn't build it in a month. I didn't build this in a week. And I didn't just say, okay, you know what? I got a few good trades. I'm the best trader in the world. I didn't say that. I didn't think of that. This took me more than a year to fully forge myself. This was my own experience and this is my own beliefs on my system. And that's exactly why it works. And it's so simple because whenever I first started trading, it would look something like this. It was rainbow EMAs I had to set up. And if you want proof, look at the timestamps on this. This is 2022 and I was making stuff like this and it was ugly. It was bad. And I admit it. It was very hideous. Like I was on the 15-minute time frame. You see like little lines going through the chart. I have no idea what I was doing, right? I mean, I thought I did. I thought I had a good idea. I thought I knew what I was doing. I thought this was good. I thought maybe this was going to make me money. I was learning about the falling wedges. So clearly it was going to make me money. It just made sense to be working because I was spending so much time on it. And whenever I spent so much time on it and I didn't see any results, that would demotivate me so much. Especially because by this time I was already putting myself in debt. So it wasn't a very pleasant thing. It wasn't a pleasant feeling to see more drawdown on my accounts or see no results because I was spending so much time watching those videos. But eventually my chart looks like this. Now it's so simple and it's going to be a lot easier to understand than what I just showed you, because if this was what I was going to teach, I would cry, but it's not. So you can see losses are transparent. I don't care. You can go through them. There's also wins and you can see all of them. We actually were fortunate enough to have a 100% win rate. And if you ever see gaps between this, like February 14 to February 18, that's because there's a weekend. We also had a holiday on Monday. So that's why we didn't have 15, 16 or 17, but everything is here and you can see all the trades. They're also timestamped. But let's get straight to the trade itself. And I'm going to teach you exactly what I did for this step by step. First thing you need to go is your higher time frame. This was in the morning. I took my levels and I placed them on the daily high and the daily low. That's all I did, and I sent it out as well. It was in the SPY levels, this channel over here, SPY open inside a range. We'll play calls above the lower time frame 5 minute towards 613.23 if that confirmed, or puts on their lower time frame on 5 minutes to 609.58, which is the lower level down here. Now, the only reason I said and I mentioned both sides, as you can even see the picture here, is because there's just a 50-50 chance here. There's no guarantees of where price go here or if price will snap towards lows. This just has a lower probability as opposed to setting up for continuation. If it was to open above this level, then it would have a higher tendency of pushing towards highs. But since it's opening inside, then we want to plot these levels on both sides just to see which one it would snap to. Since we ended up breaking the lows here, as you can see, a low of day formed, and then we snapped it and fully closed under this, then we ended up taking puts. It's not like market opens and we just instantly get into a trade and we try to guess which side it's going to go for, or we see a red candle, so clearly it's going to go lower. That's not how it works. You just set your first 5-minute candle low of day and your 5-minute high. You wait for the first close outside of this level, and then you play that direction. That's all you have to do on this. That's really it. You could literally pause the video here and call it a day. That's the end of it. And then you can make a trade like this, because a frequently asked question I had for myself was, where am I supposed to make money? And I found that the common denominator was that I was making the most money on the trades in the morning, as opposed to trading here where it was sideways price action and I was just very lost, as opposed to a straight beautiful line like this and a beautiful trend where you get red candles back to back, right? So this trade in the morning is what pretty much changed everything for me, because all I did was just play with a little bit of information here and then play the puts, and that's it. That's all I did, and that's what I continue doing every single day. And the way I base these trades are just on the higher time frame. Every single morning I come here, I place the levels, and then I wait for market open, and then we just start trading. So it literally looks something like this. You start the day, you're like, okay, here, first 5-minute candle up. So we put that level. Oh my god, it's going way too fast. Hold on, let's just slow this down really quickly. Let me close this out, go here. But yeah, we have our first 5-minute candle, we put the low, we put the high, and we just wait. We get a big drop down, and before anything, I know it's like so tempting to get into trades like this where it's like already overextended and huge. You're like, oh my gosh, why am I waiting for this to fully confirm when we just saw a big red candle? And the simple answer is because the next candle, guess what? Boom! Goes back towards the highs, go back towards the 5-minute range, and then you're back, and then it hits those highs. Then what? It's so useless to get in early and just waste your time and your position size. So just wait for the full close outside. There's a confirmation. You still have space towards 609.56. Lucky you, and then you get blessed. You get the momentum. As you can see, sells off, right? And this isn't just some BS replay mode thing. You can even see it's all timestamped here. SPY 607 at 9:47. So that means this was sent out 2 minutes into this candle open. It was starters because we didn't fully finish that 5-minute. And then we finished it, fully confirmed. And then we got to take profits at 125% as our first trim, and then 550% as we hit those lower levels here. Very simple trade, very simple setup. And what I want you to take out of this is to kind of find your little sweet spot. If you have the entire trading day, which are the spikes that you're making money on, right? Are you making money in the market open for like 5 trades? And here is a negative, and then here is a positive towards the end of the day maybe. So maybe just stick to these 2 timestamps on the day. Don't take anything here. Something like that. Like you just journal them, because without change, you just can't expect anything to happen. And it's something very common. Like a lot of things you see in trading will apply to life itself, because if you're just living your life on a day-to-day basis and you feel very motivated to do anything, it's because your cycle, your routine isn't built for you. It's just something that you got comfortable with. And if you're following a comfortable schedule that was just provided to you, that was just built because you didn't build it yourself, you're going to feel very demotivated. You're going to feel very lazy. You might wake up, your bed is so accessible for you. You just go back and lay down after you eat breakfast, you go to sleep, you go doom scrolling on TikTok, you waste hours of your life there, and then you feel upset at the end of the day because your entire day was just doing that and nothing else, right? Or you might take videos, you might watch this video and then just go back to doing the same thing tomorrow because you didn't take notes from this video. So it's just so straight. And it will happen over and over and over again. This will never stop playing for you. This loop that you're living in right now will just keep repeating and repeating and repeating because nothing is changing. Let's add something into our schedule. Maybe in this time of the day, you go outside, you get some sun. Wow, that is really ugly sun. Anyways, you go out and get some sun here. You already broke the momentum here. You already broke the schedule. So this little arrow from going in a loop just starts shifting a bit here, right? And you get more excited because you're like, okay, well, outside, we might as well go out, get something to eat. We might work out or something. That is supposed to be an egg, by the way. But that doesn't look like an egg, but yeah, okay, whatever. So you work out as well. This is supposed to be a dumbbell. And then your entire day is completely shifted. You're actually doing things you like, you're doing things you enjoy. Maybe the next day, since you're doing the same thing, you're going out getting some sun, you might expose yourself to something else. You might expose yourself to connections. You fall in love, you get married, you have a little kid, right? And then you're living life. In doing this, you're exposing yourself to things you like. And in doing that, you pretty much change everything and you make things better for you. And this little concept that I drew pretty much applies to trading as well, because if you're trading and doing this nonstop, you wake up and you take a trade and then you go to sleep because you lost and you feel sad. You wake up the next day, you took another trade, you go red again, you watched a video in the middle of the day maybe, and then you were like, okay, I just learned a little bit. I'll test it out tomorrow. The next day comes, since you didn't really journal it, you didn't write notes in it, you just kind of watched it and put it aside in your head. You wake up the next day, you don't even go in with a plan, you just start trading, you lose money again. You're like, oh my gosh, man, why'd I lose money again? I don't understand. You can notice nothing changes in your life. And so in order to actually start seeing change, you want to start getting some disruptions. You want to distort your routine. And so if you want that to happen, you want to start a day regularly. You want to pay attention to what's making you feel happy, what's making you feel sad, what's making you anxious in the trades, or what's making you lose money. So maybe at this time period, you lose a lot of money because it's like in the afternoon. The afternoon's kind of dead volume for you, or it's just not the right market conditions you need. It might just be ranging and that doesn't work out good for you, right? So then you move on to this. You note it down. First thing you do is you write it down. You say, okay, I struggled at 1 p.m. Eastern time to make trades successful. And then you get a log of all of this information after, like, let's say even just 7 days, you do this and you're like, okay, so I'm definitely not trading on this time. On this time at like 3 p.m. Eastern time, there was some really nice end of day volume coming in. I made nice volume. I made nice money on this because we were breaking highs. So it was nicer to trade with more volume here. Or in the morning, it was extremely easy to trade because there was little to no price action. So the little bit of price action that came out, we were able to prioritize off and make a lot of money on. So this is a check for me. This is a check for me. No trading here. And then you come back and just journal. You keep journaling this. Wow, these are ugly scribbles, but I hope some of this makes sense to you. If not, then I'm always open to just read your messages or text me, send me a message on Twitter, and I'm just going to answer you. But yeah, just try to pay attention to these things, because every single day that I just trade in the morning, it's worked out. As opposed to trading here, I would not be able to make anything on this. And there's no point, because you can see the risk reward just completely falls. Why would you risk making this to lose this, right? Because your low of day would be your stop loss. So if you're getting in here, you're risking this to make this, as opposed to risking this to make something like this. And it's not an exaggeration. It's literally in front of you. It's actually what the daily time frame tells you. It's avoiding ranges. It's avoiding chop. It's avoiding no new momentum. Instead, you just trade the momentum and call it a day. So that's how we got that 500% return. That's how we take other trades as well that make us a good amount of money and avoid everything else. With that being said, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day or the rest of your night. If you have any questions, leave a comment or just text me. I will be happy to answer.